Well, here we are for another evening. This one's a short check-in. I'm not going to do the whole huge time I did yesterday. Shouldn't be doing hour-long ones. I should break them up so I have something else to talk about the next day. This is something interesting. This is something I did for yesterday's photo shoot for the Runcible Foods. So, in an effort to make sure that I don't infringe copyrights, when I did raisins, I needed a box for the raisins, but I couldn't be using the brand name on it in my artwork for a game that I'm designing for sale. So I actually took one of the boxes and I broke it along the seam, flipped it inside out, glued it back together, let it dry, and then the inside of the box it had that raisin residue. I give it a little bit of a wash down, and it's not as waterproof on the interior as you would think it would be. It's not wax paper. There doesn't seem to be any protective layer whatsoever. So what I had to do was like, okay, so how can I handle that? Now that I got it a little bit fuzzy by trying to wash it off. And the other thing was, it was a white box. I didn't want a white box with a white background on a cutting board. So I wanted to get a different color. Why would you be driving your motorcycle up a hill in a residential neighborhood at 11 o'clock at night? Anyway, so this is a combination of yellow food coloring and beet juice to get a slightly orangey tone to it. I had the beet juice left over from the stems I cut off the beets that I used for a picture of beets. So yeah, I was playing around with some natural food dyes. I could probably have used turmeric for yellow. It's possible to get a nice yellow tone off of a turmeric. It's a little bit of a blotchiness because of the water not evenly soaking in, but it did for the photo shoot. It worked fine for the photo shoot that I did. But it's also reminded me at a certain point when I do my ideal photography for these, for foods for the Runcible card games, I wanted to do alternative packaging for food items. So like a potato chip bag full of milk, or a squirt bottle full, like a mustard bottle full of eggs, and things like that. And then I got to thinking, like, what kind of weird things can I put inside the little raisin boxes? And I was like, okay, that's another one I can add to the list. So squirt bottles and potato chip bags, maybe burlap sacks, glass bottles with narrow necks on them for like hard-boiled eggs. So something you might find for like a Worcestershire sauce. You just put an egg label on it and find a way to make it look like there are eggs jammed inside the bottle. Cookie boxes or cereal boxes. The oatmeal drum, I might be able to do something like that for what would I put in that one? I don't know. What would you do for that one? It's got to be something like, maybe like sardines. No, well, maybe ground beef. Just sort of, yeah, a tube of ground beef, a cardboard cylinder full of ground beef. And the hard part, I think, would be to decide whether or not I wanted to make actual labels for each of the containers and put them on them, or if I wanted to make a green screen label and then make the artwork to post onto them later. I think I got to figure that one out. But that's sort of one of the things I've been working on. I did another photo shoot tonight with artichokes, sausages, pepperoni, pears, zucchini, squash, corn. And at this rate, what I've really got left is, depending on how I do it, like I have to do a can of tuna, and so I could probably do a can of tuna, make some tuna salad with it tomorrow afternoon, do some popcorn, and that's sort of my lunch when I get back. And then for dinner, I can do something on the order of chicken breast and rice with watermelon for dessert. And then Saturday night, I could do a beef stroganoff, so ground beef, sour cream, and I've already got the mushrooms and onion taken pictures of. So I just make a beef stroganoff for dinner on Saturday night, and then for dessert, blueberries. And I think at that point that just leaves me with clams, chickpeas, alfalfa sprouts, and turnips. I got to figure out how I can't find alfalfa sprouts and I can't find turnips at the local stores. So I'm going to see if I can find some of that after work. I don't think I'll be able to find it after work because stores still close before I get out. I may have to try on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday for the alfalfa sprouts and turnips. And I'm having a little trouble finding clams. I wonder if I could do something like a canned oyster, like smoked oysters or something like that. Would anybody know the difference? I don't know. But I'm getting towards the end of taking the pictures that I need to take for the base set. I've got a few extras, a few spares that I did. I had the food. It was still good at the time, so I didn't want to waste it and have to buy it again next time I need to add it to the list. So I just took a few pictures of that. I think once I get that squared away, I'm going to build 2 sets of images for the cards. I'm going to build the mini print and play deck, where I think what I'm going to do for the background of the cards of the print and play deck is just do the term Runcible Foods, a game in bad taste, and just tile it at staggered intervals. So it just makes like a pattern on the back of the cards. So when you print it out on the piece of paper that you're using to print out the cards, the back side is just going to be this pattern, and the front side is going to be the picture of each, or the word for each of the foods that each card represents, and you can play that game with those cards. The ones I'm going to be submitting to Game Crafters is going to be the photographs that I'm doing right now with the name of the food on the bottom. And I want the one remaining picture I really want to work on is that sort of food label that's going to be the back of the cards. So like a bottle of unlabeled, like an unlabeled dark bottle, either a vinegar or an olive oil that I have, and the cutting board with a few vegetables on it, and maybe a piece of cheese. I kind of wish I still had some of the grapes. I wish I had saved those. I ate a lot of grapes in the last week. And then maybe some bread, and just sort of arrange them into a still life, take a picture of it, run it through the filter that makes them look painted, and then put the banner art where I do like I might do them hand drawn. I don't know if I'm skilled enough to do it on a digital format, but do the banner for the top that would be Runcible Foods, and then on the bottom it would be a game in bad taste. within that sort of like that wavy ribbon style banner. I used to do a lot of that kind of goofy art when I was scribbling in my notebooks when I was younger. Probably still have some of them somewhere. So that's really what I'm working on for the finishing of this round of reworking the project. I haven't decided where I'm going to upload it so people can download the print and play game. But I might have to start a website for that. I also want to see about uploading a custom deck in Roll20 so that people can play it on a virtual tabletop. And then I think at that point I'd be pretty much done with the Runcible Foods game. And people could download it, print it, play it, order it from Game Crafters, which I don't think they're yet. I think they're still in the midst of the COVID-19 work from home, so they're not printing on demand the print on demand games. So it would be back ordered essentially at that point. I wonder if I get the cards produced through Game Crafters, order like 40 or 50 decks. Now, maybe just start with 5 to 10 and list them up on Amazon if I sell through Amazon and maybe eBay for sale. I wonder if I could get... I'm very curious to see if that's a way I could get them listed on Amazon. I mean, I don't imagine there's going to be a huge run on. So there's a part of me thinking like if I list it on Amazon, I should get at least 20 decks so that if 5 people order them, they can remain in stock. But if enough people order them and I don't have more, it's going to take me a while to order them, restock them, and supply them. That might be a good exercise in practicing how to resell on Amazon. Because what I'm thinking right now is if I can keep the price for me to purchase my own game without any profits being made from there, I could probably order for about $10 to $12 a deck. So figure roughly $10 for easy calculation. $10, I could get 10 decks and I can list them on Amazon. If I could resell on Amazon or sell on Amazon, I can, as soon as I have 5 orders, maybe even just 2 orders, place an order for 5 more. So I can keep that stock replenished. Now, I might do that predominantly from home. So order fulfilled by seller for a little while. But there is a way that if you're doing well enough on certain types of sales, you can send a package to Amazon where it will be fulfillment by Amazon. So basically at that point I would get a large box from Amazon with discounted shipping costs and ship them, say, 100 copies of the game. And then at that point, they keep them stocked on a shelf. Whatever I don't sell within a couple months or so, they charge me a fee for having it stored. But it might be interesting to try out that system to see if I am able to do that with this. And so, like me purchasing the deck for myself, I would purchase it at cost. Sales through GameCrafter, I would want to make at least some of the money, a profit that I make, because they're going to charge me to sell it on their site is the cost of manufacturing. So bare minimum, I think it's probably going to be 15. Looking at commercial prices for comparable games, you're looking at $20 to $25. I don't know if I'm comfortable with pricing it at $25 right now. I think I could probably price it at $20, and it's not a huge cost burden for people who would eventually be playing it, especially if I'm going to also at the same time be offering the ability to download a tiny deck free trial without the artwork. So like, yeah, if you want to, you could download the free version. And I might set up the Patreon account for if you want to support me in creating and designing new games, or support me for the creation of this one. And then at a later date, I might see about doing something along the lines of kickstarting my ideal artwork version of it. So that would be, you know, kickstarting it would be what I would need to fund the photography for the version 2.0. I think that's kind of where I'm going to go with it. And we're about 18 minutes in, almost 20 minutes in. So that's really, I think, what I've got time for tonight. I'm going to go finish a few other things off, and I will be back tomorrow, hopefully, with the ability to do more of like a half hour to maybe even 40-minute discussion tomorrow. Not sure. They've decided at work that they want me to tear down and rebuild a whole aisle in the store. And they're giving me my standard shift to do it in. And for part of that shift, like I was doing today, I'm also going to have to be running register. So I don't imagine I'm going to have a lot of energy tomorrow. And I'm probably going to be fairly frustrated. And as we approach the weekend, what's today? Today's Wednesday? Better be Wednesday. I hope it's not Thursday. Okay, it's Wednesday. So tomorrow being Thursday, it might start to get busy again, because as we go into the weekends, especially the weekend in June where everything starts to open back up again, our state's opening everything on the start of June. So June 1st, we're likely to see several places that were closed open again. And we're likely to see higher traffic through the area again. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's stressful enough as it is, and it's hard enough for me to get anything done. But we shall see what that looks like. I won't borrow troubles before they arrive. And I kind of want to see about, making some of the maps for my campaign setting. I want to use Map Maker and see if I can make some simple, and I've had the idea of using the Map Maker to make a highly detailed specific map, and then seeing what it looks like when I run it through some of those painter or cartoon filters on that website I was playing with the other day. So I'll maybe play with a little bit of that in the near future. But until then, it's been 20 minutes and I'm at risk of running into rambling. So I'm going to call it a night. Take care. Have a good one and stay safe. I will catch you on the morrow. Take care and have a good night. Buenos noches. Zaijian.